Welcome to Fix It Home Improvement, covering projects that every homeowner should know and great products for home and garden.
Hi, I'm JC, and this is where we share weekly home improvement tips. I'm here with my co-host, Cindy.
Hello, JC.
Hi, Cindy. This week we've got an extra episode for National Home Remodeling Month.
So we did two different interviews this week. One is from Beth from HomeZada. She has a really interesting website that we found.
Yep.
So here she is.
Beth, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Cindy and I heard about your company, HomeZada, and was hoping you could share some information on it.
Absolutely. So HomeZada is all about managing your home and then taking some of that data that you've performed on your home and exposing that when you're ready to sell it and providing that to the next buyer. And most people ask us, what does that mean? And we break it down to four components. The first component is managing your home inventory. The home inventory, you want to track everything you own. God forbid there's a situation that happens like a hazard or disaster, or unfortunately there may be a theft. So you want to make sure you document your possessions as well as your home's items because you want to understand what the home is about. So you want to make sure you understand how to take care of your equipment. And then moving into home maintenance, you want to understand how to take care of your home. It's the best thing you can do to actually maintain the value of your home, but also increase it, is taking care of it. And most people either don't know how to take care of it or they don't have the reminders when to take care of the items because they forgot when they did them or they're in their heads rather than in a system that can alert them like HomeZada.
Sure.
And then the third component is home improvement projects. Once again, home improvement projects oftentimes are over budget, and homeowners wonder why they are. So we give them templates for the 50 common home improvement projects, which allow them to track all the items they need for that particular project before they even get started. And
interesting.
Yeah, you're familiar. You know, when you're doing kitchen remodels and bathroom remodels, those are expensive projects.
Sure.
And most people remember the large items, but they forget about the smaller items like faucets and garbage disposals, but they all add up. So
Absolutely.
We want to make sure that we can help homeowners be better project managers when they are managing their projects and understand how many they can do over what period of time as well. So we help them with that process. And then the fourth component, which is the final component, is most homeowners move in and out of homes approximately 5 to 7 times in their lifetime. And
that's interesting.
Basically what they do is they're growing up in a home. So they're a first-time home buyer, but then they're growing up as they increase their family size. They eventually grow down into a home as they start downsizing. And then sometimes they have multiple homes, whether it's properties that they manage and resell, or rental properties, or vacation homes. And so how can they manage all those and get the information exposed when they're ready? So as homeowners have entered data about their house, the inventory, which is the fixed assets of the physical property itself, the maintenance aspects that they've taken care of during the property's ownership, as well as the home improvement projects, they can expose that when they're ready to sell it. And that gives them a really rich marketing tool to provide
that's
the
a
buyer.
great idea.
Mm-hmm. And then the new buyer can actually get that data and learn to take care of it after that. So kind of like the Carfax for the house.
Yeah, very nice. And then I saw that you have a bunch of reminders for the basic maintenance that every homeowner should be doing.
We do. So there are approximately 30 common maintenance activities that fit every house across the country. And so we add those into a system, into HomeZada, when people sign up, and they automatically pre-populate in a calendar that sends reminders to homeowners. Now, the value that HomeZada has beyond just the 30 maintenance tips is we offer a total of 150 in the system that homeowners can add to a calendar and define when they want those done. And then they can also add customized items to their calendar, and it lets them know all the different things they need to do to their house over a period of time. And that time can be a month, a year, or it can be over 10 years.
And then you also have some remodeling projects to add value to your home, whether it's inside or outside.
That's correct. You know, homeowners, if they're not maintaining their home, which is the first thing that I always recommend they do, and usually maintaining a home is a spend between 1% and 4% annually, depending on the age of the home. But beyond that, there's projects that you want to do to make sure you improve the value of your home and give it a fresh look. When homeowners or new buyers come up to your home, you want the front of your home to be as welcoming as possible. So the first thing you want to do is freshen up your doors and your entryways, even your yard, your front yard. all of that will make a compelling reason for someone to even want to walk into your home. So that's one of the first things that someone would do. Other things that are really affordable are items like clearing out the clutter, and that's something that just takes time. Then you can also dress up your house and certain rooms, and I like to call this a little bit of jewelry. So let's say you need new knobs or drawer pulls or even a new faucet. Those things are affordable, and they can really make a room sparkle, which is really nice, and sometimes that's just a simple refresher. And then kitchen remodels and bathroom remodels are big money tickets when it comes to homes. People love kitchens and bathrooms. However, they are expensive. One of the things that we also recommend, if you're ready to sell your house and you want to update these rooms, make sure you're updating them for the resale value, because you may not get all of the resale value if you put in super, super high appliances. But if you take a step down and they're still brand new appliances, you will probably get more of your money back.
Yeah,
so
very smart.
Keep those things in mind. But those are the big money ticket type rooms that everybody loves, and they almost expect them to look beautiful. One of the things that we recommend, and the reason why we built HomeZada as a online solution, is because keeping track of all this data is very difficult as it is.
Sure.
And then if you take inventory, for instance, if something should happen to your home, and this is always the sad part, if someone steals your computers where you've documented all your home inventory, then you don't have the data anymore. So if you're putting it in the cloud, you now have it. And that also goes for in case there's some sort of disaster or some sort of fire that happens, which is really bad because there's 1,100 homes that burn down in the U.S. every day. Crazy.
Yeah.
But so keeping it in the cloud is not only beneficial because you have it and it's safe and secure, but also getting that access to that data when you're out and about. Good example is a maintenance tip or a home improvement project. You happen to be at your local hardware store and you need a particular size of something. If you've got photographs and or data in the system, that can reduce your time driving back and forth to the hardware store, and you can go, oh, here's what I need. And it's accessible for everyone in your family. You know, let's say you're doing a home improvement project and you and your spouse need to access the data, but someone is either out and about running errands or someone's traveling for work, then you have that data and you can actually be in the system at the same time talking on the phone and saying, which one do you want to choose? Do you want this activity or this item, or what do you want to do? And it makes it very efficient.
Yeah, very interesting. Beth, if I want to learn more about your company, where would I go?
You would go to our website, which is homezada.com. I'll spell that HOMEZADA.com.
Great. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
I think that's a very interesting concept. I like the idea.
Well, it's nice to have one spot where you manage your whole home. I mean, it's your biggest investment.
Absolutely, yeah.
And, I mean, who remembers how much you spent on, you know, when you're remodeling your kitchen? I mean, how much did you spend on your appliances? And
well, it's so many smart ideas. You know, this is something that's great for your insurance to track everything. It's great for the new buyer if you ever sell your home. And then, like you say, since it's such a big investment, it's nice to have these reminders so that you're maintaining everything around your house. We also spoke to Robert Criner, and he has Criner Remodeling. He's a master remodeler, and he had some really nice insights. If you're planning on hiring someone to come in and do some projects around the house, he has some excellent tips.
Robert, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. It took me a minute to figure out how to do that.
Cindy and I were talking about remodeling and wondering if you could help us with some tips on what homeowners should be thinking about when they're starting a remodel.
Well, there's several things they should be thinking about. What we often find is people come to us, they've worked up their own solutions to their problems. And what I've often found is if they'll give us the problem, the solution we may come up with may be a better answer.
Sure.
And, you know, it's an approach to it that would help right off the bat. The other is to come prepared when you come to a contractor. I mean, come prepared to interview him, come prepared to get to know him and make sure he's a good fit for you. Because a lot of people are told we'll go out and get several estimates, and you know, our recommendation is go out and interview several contractors and find the one that's a good fit for you. You know, you do that by checking out their background and, you know, see what kind of experience they have. Because, you know, you could have a contractor who's very experienced, been in business 20 years, but he's never really done the second floor addition and wants to do the first one for you. That's probably something you want to find out up front. So you got to find out, you know, what they're experienced in.
Very smart. So what are some of the key questions if I were going to have a little checklist going into this?
Well, I think one of them is going to be, depending on your state, you know, you find out what's required for that contractor. I happen to be from Virginia, and there is a state license requirement here. Not the case everywhere. But there's a website that allows you to go and check out and see if, in fact, I am licensed, or even if there's been a complaint against me. You can go to that Department of Professional and Occupational Regulations website, and it'll tell you.
Wow, interesting.
And also, in a lot of municipalities, you not only have to have a state license, you have to have a city license. So you need to find out what the requirements are for your area.
And who would a homeowner go to? So you just call the local village?
You can just call the local village building department and ask what's required. Because often you have to have that license to pull the permit to make it legal. Another issue you might run into is you have to know what year your house was built. Because if it was built before 1978, it's another set of regulations that go on top of it.
And that's because of lead paint? Or?
It's because of the lead-based paint. They stopped using it after that. But those houses built before then need to be tested before the contractor can even start work on it. Good stuff to know.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then as far as like licensing and accreditation, should we be asking to see some documentation?
You can always ask to see. Well, let me be careful with this, because today, if there was somebody unscrupulous, he could pretty much copy a license. So what I want to do is I don't want to see the contractor show me his license. I want to see the state show me that the contractor is in fact licensed.
Very smart.
It's the same for insurance. I don't want to see the certificate of insurance. What I want to do is I want to have the person who is the backer of that insurance to notify me that that policy is still in effect for the duration of my project.
Interesting. So how would I go about that?
What happens is when you go and you hire a contractor and you ask for a certificate of insurance, what happens is I notify my agent, and my agent will send you a certificate of insurance to your address. The reason for that is because if in the middle of your project I cancel the insurance company will notify you that I canceled the insurance.
Wow, very interesting.
So it's a little bit different. And the same with some of the accreditations. For example, one of the highest accreditations that one can receive in the remodeling business is the Graduate Master Remodeler designation. And that's through the National Association of Home Builders. And that requires a great deal of schooling and experience to obtain. And you can go to a website with NAHB and see who has what designations in your area. And you'll find someone who has, for example, a certified graduate remodeler or a graduate master remodeler designation within a 50-mile radius of your home. And that'll give you a good place to start with people have the experience and background for your project.
Sure. Fantastic.
The other, which is kind of the old school, is ask for a list of their clients. And it's funny, you never ask for 3 names because they always have 3 relatives that'll back them up.
Right.
So what you want to do is you want to ask a list of, 50 or 80 or 100. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Wow.
I'm going to call 3 of them.
Right.
But I want to be able to pick the 3 to call and talk to, and that makes a big difference. And today with technology, it's very easy to find and for us to track projects that are in your neighborhood or projects like the one you've done, so we can give you a good recommendation of someone to talk to.
And is there a resource where we can go on to see whether a company has a lot of problems or maybe a lot of praise?
The praise is easy to find. The Internet is a wonderful place for that. And there is, for example, we have a third-party company that does our surveying for us called Guild Quality, and Guild Quality has its own website. And I can't control that. If someone says something about me, it goes straight to the web, and it's there for everyone to see. And I can assure you I work very hard so that I do things that allow them to say nice things about us.
Sure.
But really, the Internet's a good place to go. You can tell a lot by a company's website, at least get pictures of their projects. And by the way, do make sure that they are, in fact, pictures of their projects, not just pictures they put up there.
Okay.
I've seen that happen a couple times. But those would be some good places to start to try to check out your contractor and make sure they're worth their salt.
Excellent. And then the key accreditation you're saying is a graduate master remodeler?
Yeah, there's a certified graduate remodeler, which is a very high one and very good, and you can't go wrong with anybody who has a CGR, certified graduate remodeler. If you can think of it as the graduate studies to that is the graduate master remodeler, which requires a minimum of 15 years experience, for example.
Wow,
not to mention a great deal of education to meet certain standards. There's several other things you should be looking for. One is don't be afraid to ask for a sample of their contract up front. See what you're getting into.
Very true.
It's easy to do. A lot of people post it online. And also have a good understanding of what level of services you're expecting from this contractor. For example, in our company, we have a designer on staff. We have someone who picks selections. We have project managers that, do give a great deal of hand-holding and care to our clients. And you pay a little extra for that service. If you're just looking for somebody to replace your front door, you may not need that level of expertise. So find someone who's well matched for your needs.
Very good. Is there anything that the homeowner is going to be responsible for in a lot of projects, or is it usually the remodeler doing everything?
For us, it's usually the remodeler doing everything. We're a one-stop shop, and once you hire us, the hardest thing you're going to have to do is sign those checks.
Right.
Not an easy task, I might add, but the project we take from soup to nuts. We'll help manage the selections with you. We'll make sure that everything on your project is done professionally and clean, and we handle the permits and the inspections, and we make sure there's a good walkthrough, a good closeout procedure, all the paperwork's in order so everyone is protected and safe. Really, it really goes up to managing your expectations, that you know what you bought, there's no surprises. If you bought a Cadillac, that's wonderful. If you bought a Chevy, that's wonderful too. As long as you know exactly what you bought, and we delivered just a tad bit more than that.
And what would I expect as a homeowner as far as the payment? Do I put a partial down payment, or what is the normal process?
Oh, that was a great question. You get like bonus points for that one. And I'll tell you why. Because there is no law that controls that.
Okay.
It's a contract, an agreement between the contractor and the homeowner, and it's pretty much whatever they agree to. And typically the rule of thumb is you don't want to take more than a third up front. But quite frankly, if it's a kitchen and the poor contractor has to order, it's 90% cabinets and he has to order them all up front, he might be asking for a little bit more.
And that makes sense.
Sure. And see, you just answered the question. It's what makes sense.
Right.
Typically, you want to give the contractor as much money as they've given you services. So you can fund the contractor as the project's being done. And often, you leave a little bit at the end to make sure that the contractor comes back and make sure you're satisfied. And typically, that's 5 to 10%.
Well, some great tips, Robert. I really appreciate your time. And if I want to learn more about you, where would I go?
It's easy to find me. We're at CrinerRemodeling.com. That's CRINER remodeling.com. My name's Robert Criner, and I'm happy to help anybody in the Tidewater, Virginia area. But if you're outside that area, it might be a little more difficult for me to travel there.
All right. Well, I really appreciate your time.
Okay. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, Robert.
That was a great interview.
Yes, and Robert is part of the National Association of Home Builders, and their website is nahb.org, and a really nice website for some insights into home remodeling.
He had a lot of great points, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah,
my
very
parents,
interesting.
My parents about 5 years ago had an addition put onto their house, and they hired the guy down the street. He did a nice job.
That's good.
But I mean, they didn't go through the whole interview process of
Right,
and I mean, what's interesting is
looking up his insurance.
Yeah. I mean, he was in the house for him and his crew for like a good 2 months.
Really? Wow.
So I mean, you're living with these people basically, right. In and out of your house, and
so it'd be nice to interview them.
Yeah, and do you get along? Do they seem normal?
Right. Yeah.
And then he had a bunch of subcontractors too that he had hired out. So they did have a problem with their furnace.
Very interesting.
Like they didn't put a furnace filter into the furnace.
So it wasn't the company they hired. It was interesting.
Right.
Right. So it's good to know that too. Another great question to ask: do you hire subcontractors?
Yeah. What exactly does your whole company do?
Yeah. Very smart. So if you're thinking about remodeling your home, I would think one of the first things you should really look at is the structure. So a leaky or an old roof would probably be where you want to put your first dollars if you're on a tight budget, because there's nothing worse than you spend money on a kitchen remodel,
right? And
then you have we probably should have looked at the age of the roof. And then if you're thinking about reselling, that is a great selling feature, because people usually are scared by having to replace or reshingle a roof. And then also like a leaky, moldy basement. It's interesting if you have a beautiful kitchen, beautiful bathroom, but you walk downstairs and it's musty and moldy and nasty. So a couple of the structural things I would think you'd want to kind of nail first. then curb appeal is really a low-cost way to make your home look better and get a nice return on your investment.
Right, something as simple as replacing the front door.
Yeah, I think that's an easy way to spruce up the house. You're going to have better insulation. You're going to have better security, like we talked about in the door lock episode,
Right.
Depending on the type you buy. And then even putting in a storm door. We just did a project.
In my cousin's house.
Yeah, so on our Fix It Home Improvement channel, I go through the steps on how to install an Anderson storm door. And I'll tell you, these new storm door kits are just fantastic. If you get some of the kits that are marked easy to install, they are easy to install. And
Well,
so
it's funny because my cousin asked us if we would do it because he asked his dad, hey, you want to install the storm door? And he's like, no, I don't think so.
have the JC guy do it. Then remodeling your kitchen and your bathroom always gets a good return on the dollars you spend. And like Beth said, a good idea is, don't get the highest end product if you're thinking about reselling. Just nice new. In fact, when we redid your kitchen and put in the IKEA cabinets, they look beautiful.
Right.
Easy to put up and just a very fair price.
Well, even when I picked up my appliances, I wanted something that was nice.
Right.
And
Rated well.
Right, and would appeal to a bunch of people.
Right. Very smart. Yep. And there was a study done by the National Association of Realtors by the Florida State University. They analyzed all of these homes that were sold throughout the country, and adding a bathroom can increase your sale price by over 8%.
Wow.
So again, depending on the part of the country you're in, that's a smart remodeling project. I'd like to thank Beth from Homezada for talking to us. And her.
And you know what? I would like to thank Beth and Robert.
Wow, I always say me. It's all about me.
It is.
So Beth at Homezada, HOMEZADA.com. And Robert Criner, he has Criner Remodeling. And Criner is spelled CRINER, remodeling.com.
So this is a special episode. Our normal episodes come out on Sunday.
If you'd like to subscribe to our podcast, you can subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a review.
You can check out our home improvement videos on our YouTube channel, Fix It Home Improvement.
You could subscribe to that as well.
If you'd like to email us, you can email us at fixitpodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you for listening.
Talk to you next week.